NFL wide receiver. My dream as a young man growing up was to actually be a receiver in the NFL. The art of pass catching was just always so beautiful to me growing up. On the playground as a kid in elementary school, always wanting to be the wide receiver, always wanting to get targets. But unfortunately, my life took a turn. And that turn was I am unathletic as shit. I am not built for being a wide receiver. I do not look like a wide receiver. And I don't have the hands of a wide receiver. But something I still can do is observe the greatness of the NFL wide receiver. Growing up, my favorite wide receiver of all time was Santana Moss because die-hard Redskins fan growing up, Santana Moss was my favorite receiver to use in Madden. So, this list is dedicated to Santana Moss, who's not a forgotten wide receiver, so he will not be on the list. But this is the forgotten wide receivers list. Now, I would like to preface that the quality of the footage is a little grainy for a lot of these because my website that I use to get footage from YouTube off of has not been working. So I had to use a backup one, and the one off the backup one has some quite grainy footage. So I do apologize, so please do bear with me. But now, my friends, I show you my only catch from my freshman year, flag football year. Now, keep in mind, I did play quarterback, but this is my only catch that I recorded. And now we jump right into the forgotten NFL wide receivers. Ladies and gentlemen, first on our list is Michael Floyd, a former NFL wide receiver known for his contested catches, physical play, and especially his strong presence in the red zone. He was born on November 27th, 1989 in St. Paul, Minnesota, and Floyd became a football standout at Creighton-Durham Hall High School. He was a five-star recruit and chose to attend Notre Dame, and he really cemented himself as a really strong college player at Notre Dame from 2008 to 2011, and he was really became a premier wide receiver very quickly. Over his 4 seasons, he broke several school records, including most receptions, receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, and people really thought he had that NFL size because he was 6'3", 220 pounds, while still being athletic. It was a great mismatch and a great jump ball player. And then in the 2012 draft, Michael Floyd was actually drafted in the first round, 13th overall by the Cardinals, and he joined an offense that already had Larry Fitzgerald, so he already had somebody that he could sit and be the number 2 receiver behind. I think, being the number 2 receiver really helped him his rookie year as he caught 45 passes for 500 yards and 2 touchdowns, and I think, Michael Floyd got to show off some of that ability in his rookie year, but really his breakout season would be 2013, where he posted 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns, and he really showed that he could be a legitimate weapon in the Cardinals offense. Part of being that legitimate weapon, he was averaging over 16 yards a catch in 2013 and had made several highlight reel catches, including a game-winning touchdown against the Seattle Seahawks later in 2015. But unfortunately for Michael Floyd, his career took a major turn in 2016 when he was arrested for a DUI, which occurred in December. That ended up leading to his release from the Cardinals, and he, did actually reveal in interviews that he did struggle with alcohol, but that was a challenge that he worked really hard to overcome. Then in 2016, Floyd was actually claimed off waivers by the Patriots, and he had limited contributions on the Patriots, but he did have a couple big moments, including winning the Super Bowl with the Patriots, even though he did not play in the game. He then joined the Minnesota Vikings in 2017 and struggled to make really a significant impact, just catching 10 passes for 78 yards, unfortunately. The next year, he would join the Washington Redskins for a brief stint where he caught 1 touchdown, and then a year later, he would join the Ravens, which would be his final NFL stop before he was unfortunately released and did not see action with another team. His career stats, he played in 102 games, had 250 plus receptions, a little under 4,000 receiving yards, and 25 touchdowns. Michael Floyd, I think he was someone that got a little distracted with off the field things. It's not like he was a nuisance. Obviously, the alcohol thing was no good, but he definitely worked very hard to push past that and work past his alcoholism and his problems. Now, obviously, his NFL career didn't really reach the heights that many people expected, but he is remembered for his blend of size, strength, athleticism, and especially that early success with the Cardinals, which remains a highlight of his NFL journey. I think that Michael Floyd actually had a really solid shot at being like a Drake London type player, but unfortunately sometimes, it's the NFL. Things just don't work out, and I'm happy to say that he has kicked the alcoholism problem from my knowledge, from what I researched, and he's now doing good in the current day. Ladies and gentlemen, the next receiver on this list is actually my favorite receiver on this list, and this is Davone Bess, a former NFL wide receiver who is known for his effectiveness in the slot as a slot receiver. He was born on September 13th, 1985 in Oakland, California, and he really overcame some significant adversity to become a big contributor in the NFL. Davone Bess grew up, like I said, in Oakland, California, where he faced a lot of troubles, like a poor neighborhood environment, and he kind of countered that by becoming a big star receiver, especially in high school at the Skyline high school, but unfortunately faced a major setback when he was arrested and spent time in a juvenile detention center due to a legal issue. This caused many D1 schools to pull their scholarship offers from him, but he was determined to rebuild his life, which he did. He re-enrolled in the University of Hawaii, where head coach June Jonas gave him a second chance at Hawaii, and Bess really thrived in the high-powered run-and-shoot offense, and over those 3 seasons, he became one of the most productive receivers in NCAA history, actually. He was able to post great statistics and even earned himself multiple All-WAC honors and was a favorite target of quarterback Colt Brennan. He helped the Warriors to a historic undefeated regular season in 2007, but unfortunately was not drafted in the NFL in 2008, primarily due to concerns about his size and off-the-field history. But the Miami Dolphins signed him as an undrafted free agent, and he quickly made an impact. Bess carved out a role as a dependable slot receiver and special teams contributor, and his consistency and knack for converting third downs truly made him like a fan favorite. In 2008, his rookie year, he had 54 catches for 554 yards and set a franchise record for most receptions by a rookie. Then 2009 through 2011, Bess saw great stats like 76 receptions in 2009, 79 receptions in 2010, and a still good 51 receptions in 2011, posting a combined 10 touchdowns in those 3 years. He became kind of known for that ability to find soft spots in his own coverage, and he was a really quick guy for great short yardage situations, and he kind of earned comparisons to other really good slot receivers like Wes Welker around that time. In 2013, though, unfortunately, he was traded to the Cleveland Browns, where, he was expected to become a key target and key contributor over there, but he really struggled in Cleveland, only recording 42 receptions for 362 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was plagued by drops, inconsistencies, and just other issues. His career was abruptly ended after the 2013 seasons due to some mental health issues. He was arrested in 2014 following a series of troubling incidents, and it was later revealed that he had depression and bipolar. And unfortunately, this would really end off Bess's NFL career. But, reportedly, he has been doing better lately. He has been advocating for mental health in the NFL, which is really, really good. His career stats: he played in 86 games, had 363 receptions, a little under 4,000 receiving yards, and caught 14 touchdowns. Overcoming the adversity that he did as a child to, the stuff at the end of his NFL career, I think Davone Bess is, one of those what-ifs in the NFL, but frankly, he's a great example of why men's mental health does truly matter. Finally, on our list, the main event, we have Mike Sims Walker, another former NFL wide receiver, best known for his athleticism and his contested catch ability, who had solid production during his prime years with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Born November 21st, 1984 in Orlando, Florida, Sims Walker rose to prominence through his hard work and perseverance, earning a reputation as a big play threat. Mike Sims Walker attended Edgewater High School in Orlando, Florida, and he really excelled at football and basketball and was actually recruited as a defensive back initially. He transitioned to wide receiver during his college career at the University of Central Florida, and he was able to post 184 receptions, 2,500 receiving yards, and 24 touchdowns during his career at UCF. And these actually ranked him among UCF's career leaders in receptions, receiving touchdowns, etc., etc. And then for his NFL career, it got kickstarted by being selected in the 3rd round, 79th overall in the 2007 NFL Draft by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Though injuries slowed his rookie season, he showed flashes of potential before breaking out in subsequent years. Through 2007 through 2010, there was some injury issues, and his first 2 seasons were really marred by injuries, including a torn ACL his rookie year. But his work ethic and his natural talent really kept him on the roster. Finally, by the time we hit 2009, we had that breakout year where he was able to finish the season with 63 catches, a little under 1,000 yards with 869, and 7 touchdowns. And he developed a really good chemistry with quarterback David Garrard. As Sims Walker made several highlight reel catches, he had a couple game winners, and his performances earned him a reputation as one of the emerging wideouts of the Jacksonville Jaguars. In the 2010 season, he followed up with another really solid campaign, catching 43 passes for 562 yards and 7 touchdowns, and while his numbers did dip a little bit, he remained an essential part of that Jaguars offense. Then in 2011, Sims Walker would actually sign with the Rams, but he really struggled to find rhythm in the new system, and after just 6 games in which he had caught 11 passes for 139 yards, he was actually released and returned to Jacksonville. His second stint with the Jags was uneventful, to say the least, and injuries once again began hindering his performance. By 2012, Mike Sims Walker was out of the NFL, and he briefly attempted to revive his career in the CFL, but ultimately injuries and just inconsistency really just ended his playing career. Mike Sims Walker played in 51 games, caught 134 passes for 1,798 yards, and had 14 touchdowns. Mike Sims Walker is another one of those big what ifs. Injury bug really does suck. It really does ruin a lot of great players. But Mike Sims Walker was such a fun player, such a great name. And, in his post NFL life, he's actually remained really low profile, only occasionally participating in charity events and speaking engagements in his hometown of Florida. And when I think of Mike Sims Walker, I think about that great Hail Mary touchdown that David Garrard threw, where he was actually the only receiver who went up for it. Didn't even get the Hail Mary catch, but one of the defenders that was covering him knocked it down into the hands of another Jaguars wide receiver, giving them that very famous win and that very famous Gus Johnson call, one of the best of all time. And, I think Mike Sims Walker is one of those guys that does not get talked about nearly enough when it comes to not only forgotten wide receivers, but wide receivers that just were plagued by the old injury bug. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll keep this outro short and sweet because these videos keep getting longer and longer. I appreciate you guys' support so much. You guys have helped us reach nearly 500 subscribers at the time of recording this, and you guys helped me kind of start achieving the dream that I've had ever since I was a little boy. I've always wanted to become a YouTuber, and I've had many YouTube channels that have just struggled or flopped or whatever the case is, but this channel has really started to do something, and I'm beyond blessed and honored that you guys are helping me do this right now. If you guys want to continue to support me, please consider following me on Instagram. That's another one of the big social medias that I really use a lot, or checking out my other YouTube channels that are more pro wrestling oriented or just some of my personal stuff oriented. You guys are the best. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys like, make sure you guys subscribe, and remember, smoke crack and eat drywall.